What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers, of course, went on the road to Sacramento, took a big L. Lakers are still in the ninth seed. They are 36-31 on the season, still 5 games over 500, and they do have a very reasonable stretch coming up to close the season. So the fight isn't over. However, the Lakers are in a very tight spot and in a very big bind. And yes, losing to the Kings, it's tough. Kings just are clearly a terrible matchup for the Lakers. But it's more so another highlighted example of the Lakers' road record. The Lakers are terrible on the road this year. So the Lakers, again, have 36 wins, and 24 of those have been at home. They are a very good home team, but they are terrible on the road. They are 12-20 on the road. That means they've only lost 11 games at home. And the biggest issue is the Lakers, even if they finish, let's say best case scenario, they get to the 6th or 5th seed. Guess what? They are going to be playing on the road throughout the entire playoffs, especially if the Lakers end up finishing in the play-in. And here's the other thing, right? If the Lakers, let's say, finish today, they finish the 9th seed, guess what? Their first game, yes, would be at home against the Warriors, which the Lakers probably beat the Warriors, right? At home, good home record. Doesn't mean the Warriors can't beat them one game, but let's say that they do win. Well, guess what? Now you're playing the Mavs, the Suns, the Kings. Well, if we finish, let's say today, then you'd play the winner of the Suns and the Mavericks. Let's say it's the Mavericks, right? Well, then guess what? You are playing the Mavs in Dallas. So what are the likelihood that the Lakers beat Dallas in one game on the road? Very, very low, right? As they have a 12-20 record. This is a big problem for the Lakers. But look, most teams, perform well at home, right? Teams are usually better at home than they are on the road because you got the home crowd, right? The role players and even just, like the mid-tier guys, they usually play better. Again, you got the electricity of just the crowd in your favor. You hit a big shot, you make a big play, everyone is screaming and hollering and hooting your name. It can energize a player or players or even the entire team. But the difference between good teams and bad teams, and even teams that can win a championship, are their home records, right? Like, even last year, the Lakers got to the conference finals. How did they get to the conference finals? By winning on the road in every series except for the one series that they didn't. And the one series that they didn't, guess what happened? They ended up losing and getting swept because Denver was a team that could win on the road. And they were able to go into LA and win on the road. So the Lakers, again, are going to have to win games on the road. Now, look, could the Lakers turn it around? Could they win some road games? Right, like an example last season. You look at like the Golden State Warriors, right? They were one of like the worst road teams in like history. I mean, they were terrible on the road. And they ended up having a matchup in the first round against Sacramento, and Sacramento were able to win some games on the road. So were the Warriors, and then it got pushed to a game 7, and the Warriors actually ended up winning, I believe, 2 games on the road in that series, which it was like, wow, that was very surprising. So could the Lakers have a similar stint, right? Like, for example, if they played, say, the Thunder in the first round, like, I believe the Lakers could beat the Thunder on the road. I think that they could win a game or two on the road. Like, matchups are still a big thing, right? Sticking with the example of last season with the Warriors, the Lakers were a bad matchup for the Warriors. The Lakers were just bigger. They matched up size-wise, and just the versatility that the Lakers had, especially on the inside, was just too much for the Warriors to handle. Right? They weren't able to shoot the lights out enough to kind of overcome the Lakers. So that became a real issue for them. Right? So to me, I think matchups would be a good thing, right? Like, I think if you were, like I mentioned, played the Thunder in the first round, I think you could beat the Thunder even on the road. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers won multiple road games against the Thunder because it's just a bad matchup for the Thunder. Their lack of size, experience, things like that. Obviously, if you were to play a team like the Clippers, well, guess what? All your road games are technically home games. So you don't have that disadvantage, right? So there are certain circumstances that I do think would benefit the Lakers. But to go into like a Denver or a Sacramento or a Phoenix, right? Like these places that are notoriously tough to win on the road, will they be able to do that? Even a team like Minnesota, who the Lakers, I do believe, could beat Minnesota in a 7-game series, but would their road record come back and bite them in the behind? That's a real concern. And it's very concerning because, like, at least last year, the Lakers, as poor as they were, well, especially to start the season, I mean, they started 2-10. So, but as you saw them progress and kind of turn the season around, you saw them win multiple games on the road. And it wasn't like they were just only winning their home games. Then the Lakers, don't get me wrong, have won some games on the road. There have been even some very notable road wins, but it's about the consistency. It's about being able to go into these various places and walk away with big wins, right? Like notable examples like the Celtics. You don't have LeBron and AD. You go into Boston. You're expecting Boston to beat the Lakers by 50. And what happens? The Lakers end up pulling it out, end up beating Boston. And then they follow that up with a road win against the Knicks and then a road win against the Hornets. And it was like, oh, that was a great road stint. So again, the Lakers have had their road stints, but a large majority of their wins have came at home, right? They go into Phoenix, they lose. They go to Golden State, they lose, right? They go and they play Sacramento, they lose, right? And those are the most notable road win or road losses. And you look at their stretch in February and their stretch thus far in March, right? Like the Lakers have played a lot of home games and they have a very lightened up schedule coming up, right? So they got through the Sacramento game. Now they have 4 games at home. All 4 games are very winnable games, in my opinion. But then they have 6 road games. They have a 6-game road trip. And are they going to be able to win and come out ahead, even against some of these bad teams? They play the Milwaukee Bucks on the road, right? That's tough. But okay, let's say you lose to Milwaukee, right? It's Milwaukee, right? I know that they haven't been the best this season, but they're still a good team at home. Okay, I could live with that loss. But can you beat the Grizzlies on the road? Can you beat the Pacers, the Nets, the Raptors, the Wizards, right? Like, those are 5 games that there should be no circumstance in which you lose any of those games. Maybe the Pacers, mainly because you play the Pacers twice in a 4-game span. Literally within 5 days, you play the Pacers. So, like, okay, I'll give you that loss. But you should win that 4-game homestand. Let's say you lose to the Bucks. Okay, there's 1 loss. And so you're 4-1. Then you beat the Grizzlies. There's 5-1. Let's say you lose to the Pacers. There's 5-2. You beat the Nets. That's 6-2. You beat the Raptors 7-2. Beat the Wizards 8-2. So you go 8-2 in your next 10. And then you're back to a homestand. And then you close out with 2 road games. But based on the Lakers' current stretch and what they've done this season on the road, it's almost a safer bet to assume that they're going to lose more than probably 2 of those games. It's a safe assumption that, hey, they might lose. Like, they could lose to not only the Bucks and the Pacers, but the Nets have beaten them once already, right? The Wizards played them close, right? Do they drop a game like that where they lose to the Raptors or the Wizards or something, right? And then you have, you follow and close the season off with the Grizzlies and a Pelicans. Now, the Grizzlies have beaten you. Now, that was with Ja Morant before he ended up going down, but still, right? Like, or, you might get the luxury of, like, these teams packing it in, especially towards the end of the season as we move into, like, the last 10 games or whatever. Teams will be playing for, draft picks and stuff. But still, there's no guarantee. So, the Lakers are, my concern is that they're not out of the woods and they just have this collapse, right? Like, they're not going to fall out of the play-in. I'm not worried about that. Like, the Lakers have a significant lead. So I'm not worried in that regard, but I do have my concerns that, like, us making it out of this play-in or even just to the 7-8 spot is looking kind of bleak. And it's just because, again, the Lakers just keep finding ways to drop the ball. Now they're 3 games out of 6, 3 games out of 7, 2.5 games out of 8th. But these teams have the tiebreakers. So really, like, when you're talking about the Mavs, they're 2.5 games ahead, but it's really 3.5. The Kings, they're 3 games ahead, but it's really 4. Like, these are a lot of games to catch up on. A lot of games to catch up on. Even the Phoenix Suns, right? That's 4 games. It's so hard for you to be able to climb out of this. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Do you think that, like the Lakers will turn around, they'll start rattling off some of these road wins? Do you think no? Do you think it was just, hey, Sacramento was just a bad matchup? That's all it was. Lakers will bounce back and get things back in gear. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.